Do you live in the US and want fast, fresh and tasty meals without the hassle of shopping or all that hard work preparation? Well, don't you worry, as a lazy man, I've got you covered. Try America's #1 meal kit service, HelloFresh, and get yourself fresh, pre-portioned ingredients delivered direct to your door. So why not eat well, stay healthy, and avoid the cost of regular takeout by trying HelloFresh? Just click the link in the description below for a special limited time discount and free shipping as well. Enjoy. Well, after a mercifully calm transfer deadline day with Crystal Palace and a pretty strong start to the domestic season, things are now about to get trickier. We start our European League stage fixtures 2 a week from this point onwards, and with tough games coming up in the Premier League, this could be a real test for us. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 93 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We start the week as we finished it yesterday with not much of a voice at all, but today we've got 2 huge fixtures. We've had a pretty friendly run on paper at the start of the season, but it's Borussia Monchengladbach in the Europa Conference League, and then it is Liverpool away in the Premier League, who, as you can see from the table, are hidden behind my head. They've started that badly. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in those two, as we reflect on deadline day, a really good September against a lot of weaker teams admittedly, and only 1 injury as well, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Fingers crossed there won't be too much excitement in these 2 matches, or you might be listening to them in silence by the end. But let's have a start with what happened with Dougie Freedman at the end of the transfer window, because it's probably the first one since we've been here where there's not been utter panic. There have been players in, we'd had our big sale already, and due to the European situation, there wasn't that pressure financially. And to be fair, since then, Dougie Freedman has delivered. So if we go and have a look, we know that Amoa's coming in next season, the man we got on loan on the right wing. That happened in the last episode. But on deadline day, 2 players in, 1 player out. The one of each that you didn't know about are literally direct replacements. There's a younger player in on a lower wage at centre-half and an experienced one on a higher wage going out. And Conor Gallagher was sort of on a cliffhanger when I left you last time around. So he joined on deadline day for £2 million from PSG. Really good midfielder. I mentioned it before. A 33-year-old, he's not going to be the long-term solution, but he's a good squad player to have. He's okay technically. He's very strong mentally, great for the mentoring group, got great natural fitness, so the age isn't as much of a worry, and he can play anywhere across the midfield 4, which, given the injuries we've had recently, is important too. So happy to have him. Even happier to have Adam Barrett from Rangers. 24 million quid happened right at the end of the day. He's a 27-year-old 3-star ability centre-half. He's a substitute at the moment. Probably going to become a starter before too long. He's 2-footed. He'll certainly play in Europe. Probably will start tonight. But he's been a really solid player for us. He's got a great jumping reach. He's 6'5". Physically, he's monstrous. He's good everywhere else. I mean, there's no complaints, is there? And in contrast, the man who went out, Edmund Tapsoba, £1.5 million to Blackburn. He's 34. He did a job for us last year. He deserves credit, but he wasn't going to be the solution long term. And given the fact that he's declining massively physically, he still had 90 grand a week of wages being spent on him. It just made sense across the board. So really happy to see that replacement. He's gone off to Blackburn where he'll now be a squad player. He can enjoy his football in the twilight of his career. And apparently he's still a substitute in the Premier League too. So really happy overall with the end to the window. Pleased with Dougie this summer as a whole. Only 1 superstar went, and although we haven't technically replaced him like for like, Luzon and allowing Nelson to move over is a fair enough replacement for me. So really good improvements, a really decent squad, and we're ready to compete in Europe. However, an injury to Ben Hames is going to harm us slightly in the next few weeks. It's not going to stop us getting through. I'm not worried about this Gladbach game tonight so much because we've got a few really weak teams in this competition. So for example, we go to Zalgiris. We've also got a neutral game against Shakhtar Soligorsk, who I would expect us to beat. We're at home to Vålerenga. And we've also got a home game against Leuven. So I would expect to get points in all of those. For now though, it becomes a very tricky situation because rotation has to be the aim of the game. Since you were last with me, where we played our first really tricky test of the season, we've been pretty good, but today we've probably got our second and third. We won 3-0 at home to Everton in the Carabao Cup. We were able to start most of our first team, We have 4 or 5 on international duty, but we had 10 days off. So Hames started, Mancon started, Ribeiro got a goal off the bench too. Home to Bournemouth, a 1-1 draw. That was a decent result in the end. Ribeiro with an early goal, but we dealt okay with a pretty big onslaught in the second half. Away at Burnley, a 2-1 win at Turf Moor with Lewis and Campbell getting the goals there. We did fall behind in that one though. A 4-2 win away at Leeds. We were 4 up. Brilliant effort from Chris Lewis to get a hat-trick. Dan Tare scored one as well. A 2-0 win for a rotated side at Cheltenham in the League Cup. 2 for Ribeiro, but you can see a lot of rotation in that defence. And then a 3-1 win at home to Norwich last time out. Soonsup Bell scored the goal for the visitors. We had him on trial in our other save, weirdly. He was nowhere near the same player. Ribeiro got 2, Lewis got 1. Very comfortable win. So my thought process tonight is that we'll probably rotate quite a bit. I'm not expecting us to go and blitz Borussia Monchengladbach. If we can hold on for a result, great. If not, doesn't really matter. I just want to get through. I'm not worried in what circumstances. Liverpool away, we've got to save our players for. It is an international break after, but we've got to be prepared. Let's go and get into this Gladbach match. We would expect ourselves to get a result if we had our first team out, but that's not going to be the case. Let's go and get through. If anyone's got a really light match load, we'll play them. But the truth is, it's probably going to be 11 changes. We've got the squad depth to cope with that now. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team. Well, okay then. We start today with some pretty frustrating news, which is Guy Vaknin at the end of the transfer window threw his toys out the pram because Rodriguez, the right back, hadn't been replaced, even though a left back and a midfielder were brought in his place, so he can move 2 stronger players over to the right. So that little misunderstanding means he's unhappy, and of course now he is well out of form as a result of that. Since then, he's not scored a goal. I'm hoping that will change tonight, but the rest of the team is fully rotated. No one had a light match load, so we've gone as strong as we can. I'm going to switch Mancon and Vaknin so they're the right way round. We've got Finnegan in goal. Hurley is now the backup right back essentially. Mitchell over on the left with Barrett and Pulido at centre half. We've got Conor Gallagher covering right wing. And Moa currently first choice due to the Hames injury. So that's why we've basically gone 1 down. But there's the benefit of having a utility man in the squad. Aldarv and young Pucarino in the middle with Jimmy Campbell over on the left-hand side. And then Mancon and Vaknin up front. Going to have a little chat with Vaknin because I'm unhappy about his form. Warn about him. You've got to start scoring goals. I've got faith in you to do so. You need to kick up the backside though. So make sure you deliver tonight. All of the strength on the bench if need be. Couple of youngsters at the bottom as well. But this is a pretty big game for us. A European group stage debut, albeit it's now this new league format. But all we've got to do, try and avoid defeat. We're not going to have a trickier league game than this. We'll excuse the change of tone suddenly, but I'm going to try and talk a bit calmer in the hope that it will last the 15 odd minutes this episode will be. Let's go and get through the dressing room. Let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. Motivated are Campbell and Pulido, 2 players we expect that sort of character from. We're going to try and be front-footed. We're going to try and be aggressive. Big German following in the away end. Europa Conference music playing in the ears. And the players come out at Selhurst Park. This is a moment that this football club has waited for. Did you ever think we'd be here when we had those 2 really tricky seasons at the start here? And then we had that awful summer with Dougie Freedman last year. We had half of the squad sold. And we're now at this position. It's remarkable. We've started the half. The music's still playing. Not quite sure why, but we'll enjoy it. As Pucarino goes wide to Campbell. Can we score, while the score is still going on? No, we can't. Mancon puts it wide. The music does not bring us good luck. But it finally stops. 0-0. First chance to Palace. And the voice is not holding well. As Conor Gallagher set piece delivery to the back post. Barrett's up. Well, what a combination that is. There is only one man who can take credit, and it is Dougie Freedman. He gets his new signing to put a corner into the back post. His other new signing at 6'5" rises above everyone to head in. It's a Dougie Freedman double. It's a special. It's 1-0 to Crystal Palace, although Barrett has now picked up a booking. It's back to Hurley on the right and Aldarv. We've started this game really well. I know we've talked before about European sides on the road with the AI manager, but this one has just been a really lightning start. And we are one of the best teams on form. As Barrett gets it out to Gallagher, running in behind his Mancon. Poor touch, Traore. And Mancon's missed a sitter. 15 gone, it should be 2-0. But he's put his chance wide. And now, Gladbach are trying to play out from the back, and it looks perilous for them. Arakovic into Oscar. He turns his man. It's a good ball over, actually. Valentine gets there first. Barrett chasing him in, gets caught out a little. Dinser goes wide. Here they come again down the left wing. Gallagher chasing back. Don't foul him. Oh, don't pass it straight to them. Oscar turns it, deflects up in the air. And it's a great block off the line by Pulido. It's an awful mistake from Conor Gallagher. And he almost cost himself there after making a great assist from the corner. He nearly put himself in a world of trouble. He brings it away down the right. And we get away with it. A chance to breathe. As Poulin's through ball. Oh no. Barrett's going to be sent off. Well, that is an eventful European debut for him, isn't it? A goal after 6 minutes, a yellow card after 8, a red card after 17. What on earth do we do now? I've got to take off Mancon, haven't I? Vaknin will go in the middle on his own. He will play there. Mancon will switch into centre-half. Rodolfo, he's got the most relaxed match load, so he'll come on. The voice is not going to handle 70 minutes of defensive work here. We'll drop to balance, we'll play a bit more on the counter, but I'm not optimistic for the rest of this game. A dream start followed up by disaster. 70 minutes to cling on. Next to nothing, eh? As it's a short ball out to Tyrick Mitchell. Would not mind Vaknin nicking one on the break. If he could end his goal drought today, that would be lovely. And then end your unhappiness too. As Arakovic at the back switches it. I mean, we are 6th in the Premier League. He should be able to see the progress as Gallagher nicks it. Good play from him. At least we've got a hard working midfield. Him and Campbell work their socks off out wide. As Campbell on the left-hand side takes on his man through the Vaknin. Oh, it's just wide of the post. Great ball. And he was onside, I think. But he just misses the target. Gladbach not having too much of this game. With 10 men, we are going to tire. And here they come. Down the left-hand side by the corner flag. Oh, it's all going wrong now. Pucarino is adjudged to have fouled his man. It's a penalty kick to Gladbach. It's all going wrong. The voice is disintegrating. I might not mind that at this rate. Tadic up into the corner. 1-1. It's going to be a long night from here, isn't it? He celebrates in front of the home fans. He silences them. We can't afford many more like that. 1-1 with half an hour gone. And with a man disadvantage, it's hard to be optimistic as we've got a throw on the right with Hurley. Big ball downfield towards Vaknin. Flicks on, but that second striker isn't there now. He's got to do all that running himself. This now becomes damage limitation. Do not get yourself out of a big goal difference problem. And if you can get a point, then great. As Giordini plays out. Into midfield he goes. We're not really pressing them that high at the minute. Bannatyne to Poulain. Big ball through. Leonard on the left. Chance to cross. There's 3 in the middle. Oscar's 1. 2-1 Gladbach. Man advantage, goal advantage. And now it's going to get tricky. Can we keep the motivation? Can we keep them intact? And to be fair, we should be glad we're not playing our first team now because it would have been a real waste of energy. Gladbach are absolutely pasting us. I'm going to drop to cautious. I don't want to get caught out. At half-time, we'll put the fullbacks on to defend. We'll say we're disappointed, but what do we expect? I'm going to go to the tactics. Fullbacks on defensive duties, no need to push them on. And then in midfield, I kind of want to take off Pucarino because it's not really a game for him now. So Hagen will come on for him. Gallagher will go as the ball winner. Just let him rat around in there where he is strong at the moment. And Hagen will play off the right. Well, 64 minutes gone. Guy Vaknin is struggling again. Chris Lewis will come on up front. Just run your heart out in behind. He's scoring goals at the minute, so why not? Spasov on for Campbell. We're going for the attacking threat. And then Gallagher's really struggling physically. So we'll bring on young Gordon Ward. Let him do the legwork now. We've got 25 minutes to go. We might as well chase it. We're getting absolutely battered. And we maybe need to just try and go on the front foot. So I might push up to balanced again in a minute. We'll see what happens here. As Aldarv goes over to Lewis. Hang on a minute. Can we get something to hold on to? Chris Lewis in. Hits the post and doesn't get to the rebound first. I'm not quite sure how. He was favourite to do it. But that is exactly the type of chance we're trying to create. Oscar's got a corner kick now. The visitors put it in. If they score, it's over. And they have scored. It is 3-1. It is Gladbach's night. And what started as an absolute fairy tale has ended with a proper nightmare. 3-1 to the visitors against 10 men. And this could not have been worse for us. So, thankfully, we have got some weak teams in the group. We can bounce back against them. There's a long ball forward to Lewis. In he goes one-on-one. Beats his man to the byline. Cuts back to Spasov. Has to shoot. Oh, it's a good effort. Down to the keeper's left. He manages to hold it. It's brought away from the goal kick, though. Hagen wins it. He's one-on-one. He's hit it at the keeper as well. Spasov heads it away. Oh, you've got to score one of them. And we tend to go. Gladbach are dominant. We've lost our aerial threat there as well. Rodolfo does head that one away. Hopefully he'll be fit for the weekend now. It's back into the box again. Deflects off the defender. Nearly goes in for 4. It's damage limitation. 3-1 wouldn't be a disaster, but you can see we're tiring. It's into the box to Rodolfo, who heads clear. Ward up but can't get there. Into the box it goes again. Gladbach toying with us now, keeping the ball well. Jotard wide to the left. They're just passing it around 25 yards out, waiting for that gap to appear. As Almada to Jotard, headed away by Mitchell. Giordani back in. Good save from Finnegan. He's working hard. He's keeping us in it. But it is just about the respectable scoreline. There's no points up for grabs here. At this point, Lord knows what the commentary's going to be like on the Liverpool game. You might not have a video tomorrow at this rate. Glentoran have made the group stages here as well. Interesting to see, given our Build a Nation save. But at full time, a 3-1 defeat. It looked good until the red card. That's all I can say. Let's go and continue. That big money signing, maybe not so good after all. We'll be back in a moment to go to Anfield, and you'll see a much rotated team. Well, fitness test time ahead of Sunday's game, and my voice has just passed the fitness test as well. Who knows how it will be after 5 minutes of commentary. We've had a rest, so we're all right, but Ben Hames is not. He is yet to recover from his thigh strain. But we know going away to Liverpool, they're going to be a threat. We're going to have to make lots of changes. But most importantly, have they still got the player who keeps scoring against us? Yes, they have. This guy, the Georgian, he's already got 2 this season. He probably will score. We just need to brace ourselves now. So we've got all the opposition stuff on. We've made 10 changes which are recommended. And now we need to go and see if we're happy with the team. He's changed the keeper, all of the back 4, all of the midfield 4. The only question is up front. I'm going to go with Lewis and Ribeiro because for me, they've been the most threatening 2 this season. In the bench, we're going to bring on Aldar for Finnegan. I don't like a sub-keeper. Bucarino will be there because he's not going to be tired, is he? But what do we do in terms of the last sub? The 3 defenders there are fine, but they're all similar. We need the left-sided balance. The strikers are all right. What do we do in the midfield? Probably the youngster Bucarino comes out. Or no, in fact, Conor Gallagher, he's knackered. Let's just take him off. Mitchell will come on the bench for him. It is all change in the 11. In fact, I think it is 11 full changes. It's Charlie Setford in goal. Luzon and Nelson are the fullbacks with Rodolfo and Ter as centre-half. Amoa Hagen and Spasov the wingers with Ward and Rothwell in the middle. And then Ribeiro and Lewis up front. They've been a good combination so far this season. And it's the benefit of having 3 or 4 good strikers. Let's go and get into this one away at Liverpool. We'll drop to balanced. We'll try and stay in it. But again, probably damage limitation. Well, here we are then, away at Anfield. A pretty tough day for us, to be honest, but they've still got Trent Alexander-Arnold. They've got Alfie Devine, Clousdale, and we know the wingers have been a threat all year against us. Let's go and get the better performance out of the boys. Try and keep 11 men on the pitch. We'll drop to balanced. We'll try and stay in the game. And hopefully we won't get roasted on that left-hand side of Liverpool's because they're so strong going forward there when they want to be. But they have started the season poorly. I think they're in a relegation zone as it stands. In this game, they need a result to take them out. So as it stands, they're going up to 17th with a draw. We have had the early shots according to the stats, but that's changed very quickly as Sobolai puts the corner in. Headed away by Lewis. Ribeiro chases out. Back in again to Sabanski. Back to the edge of the box to Alexander-Arnold and Timber. Another one of those young wonder kids from the real world who they've brought in and has been a big part of their squad for many a year. Karneski, the goalkeeper, brings it out again. Timber with the big ball down the right to Clousdale. Watch the man arrive at the back post. Always ready to score against us. There he is. And there is the goal. Every single game, it is so predictable. You can close him down. You can mark him tightly. You can do anything you want. You are not stopping him scoring. That man is the curse against our Crystal Palace side. We never stop him. He always scores more than one as well. This is just the start. The tip of the iceberg. Can he do an Adam Barrett and get sent off now? Probably the only way we get a result. As we play out from the back again. Or sorry, Liverpool play out from the back again. Forgetting which team we are now. As Timber plays across to Zabarski. Out to Devine. Back into midfield. Well pressed by Ter. He gets it wide to Hagen. Doesn't beat the fullback there though. It's sloppy in possession. So's that for Ribeiro. It's a good save by the goalkeeper. Had to take his chance. It's straight at him. We're just missing that clinical edge. The Vaknin unhappiness, it just flicked his form like a switch. These two have been good, but against poor opposition, and they're not quite the same quality overall, which makes it tricky. As Nelson gets it back into Rodolfo. He's challenged by Sobolai. It's brought away by the goal scorer, and Devine gets it clear. We're back. We're just under 10 minutes to the break, and Liverpool playing out from the back again. There's been all the hosts in terms of highlights, albeit the match stats don't reflect that. And we nick it in midfield there with Rothwell to Lewis. He gets on between the centre halves and he tries to shoot from distance. Again, not creating a glorious openings, creating chances, but nothing particularly worthy of a goal. It's been an entertaining game, but all we've seen is Liverpool chances. So let's go and tell the lads you're unlucky, you're doing all right, and see if we get a response in the second half. Well, 10 minutes gone in the second period. Not much happening again here as Liverpool continue to play out from the back. Has been the only times they've been caught today, but this time they break free. Cloudesdale on the right on halfway. Gets it back to Sobolite. Good through ball to Tezgel. Two in the middle. You know who one of them is. It back to Cloudesdale again. In it goes to Devine. Off the posting keeper. Ter just smashes it behind. But where is that big goal threat? Let's go and make changes. Because Spasov's knackered. He'll be playing in the internationals as well. Campbell on for him. Lewis off on a yellow for Vaknin. We'll go back to last year's star partnership. Ward hasn't been at his best, so Hurley on. The defence have all been pretty poor in truth, but I'm going to bring on Barrett. Chance at redemption. He will play there on the left-hand side of the two. Rodolfo and him both brilliant in the air. We'll save one sub in case of injury, in case of a red card, whatever else. With 4 changes made, we've been competitive, but you can't argue with it. Liverpool have had all the good chances in this game, and they've just scored another one there. It's bounced off the same man. We know who scored it, so it's probably going to count. Check the goal review. Is it disallowed? Of course not. Do you know what? I'm going to bring on young Pecorino for Hagen because he's not having a great game. We might as well get the youngster on. We've got 15 minutes left. We'll take a quiet one now. Well, mercifully for my voice, it has been a quiet one. No more chances, no more goals, but it's the same man who beat us. We predicted it pre-match. Not the best episode, but it sort of reflects our season so far, doesn't it? When we've had those big tests, we've been in trouble. Against Arsenal, against Liverpool, against Gladbach with 10. Bournemouth we drew against, they were a top half side regularly. And the rest we've beaten. I mean, we've got a decent run of fixtures for the next 3 or 4. But then once we play City, once we play Newcastle away, Chelsea, etc., Feyenoord even, it'll probably become a bit trickier, won't it? Do we maybe even leave it a couple of months now? Come back around the Chelsea-Brighton Feyenoord time. If it's going well in Europe and we win the other 3, I'll show you Chelsea and Brighton because Chelsea's a big game. Brighton, of course, the rivals and a club that have been doing well in recent years. And if not, we'll come back for Brighton and Feyenoord and test ourselves in 2 competitions. But at the moment, it's looking a little bit difficult for us. It's not been the best spell. And of course, we have got a few trickier games coming up in the next month or 2. So fingers crossed we'll be able to get our results in Europe whilst rotating. No more red cards, please, in big games. Get through in the Carabao Cup. Maybe chase a trophy this year. That has to be the priority for this football club. We'll of course keep an eye on the job centre, see if anything pops up as the year goes on. But as you can see at the moment, it's been very quiet on that front. Not many big jobs have popped up at all in the last couple of years in truth. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for any news on that front. If you did enjoy this episode, seeing a bit of struggle, both on the pitch and with my voice as well, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments if you think we'll get through in Europe comfortably. Was it just the red card or have we got something to worry about? And whereabouts do you think we'll be in the league? Because for me, probably looking at the lower end of the top half or the top end of the bottom half. If you want to stay up to date and find out how we get on, subscribe for daily FM23 content. I can't promise there'll be a video tomorrow because the voice is very much the thing we're depending on here. But hopefully all will be well. We'll wake up in the morning and we'll be refreshed. In the meantime though, there's plenty more to catch up on up in the eye above, including the latest season, an eventful start in our Build a Nation story. There's also the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the blog story as well. That one can continue even without a voice. And of course, thank you very much for your support as always, for watching and for putting up with my croaky voice all day. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better next time around. I'll see you in a couple of days' time to find out.